Why fast food sucks now?
I'm going to show you a few different modern fast food locations with the logos removed, and I want to see if you can guess which restaurant it is. Here is number 1.
Ain't that Starbucks? Or
That is Panda Express.
Oh.
Here is number 2.
Raising Cane's? KFC? Nah. Raising Cane's? Burger King?
That is Arby's. Here is number 3.
This gotta be McDonald's, bro. Or Starbucks.
That is Burger King. Here is number 4.
I don't even know. What could this possibly be? I don't know. McDonald's again?
That is Wendy's.
shit.
Fast food restaurants in America have completely lost their identity, but it doesn't stop at these soulless gray buildings. Fast food used to be cheap, tasty, and most importantly, fast. And on top of that, the experience used to be fun. Today, the color is gone. The prices for a meal are almost the same as a regular restaurant, and the service is slower than ever. But this did not happen by accident. In fact, it's all by design. And today I'm going to break down why fast food today is colorless, expensive, and slow. And while it might sound like all hope is lost, there is something you can do to change it. And if enough of us do that, we just might be able to return to the glory days. Modern American fast food buildings are the perfect representation of the soul that's been sucked out of the industry. What used to be these creative architect.
Oh my god, Burger King fell off, bro. Burger King used to be up there. It used to be top 3, bro. That shit fell off so hard. What happened?
Architectural fun houses have transformed into sterile gray boxes that are severely lacking identity. Some of them kind of look like modern homes, some of them look like banks, some of them just look like corporate offices. But when you remove the logo, you genuinely could not tell what restaurant it was. Compare that to what this architectural illustrator posted on Reddit. Even without the logos, you can still tell which building.
Low key, bro. That would be Pizza Hut. I think that would be like Friday. That would be McDonald's, Burger King, maybe. I don't know any of these other ones.
Belongs to each fast food brand. Or can you? I'll see if in the comments one of you gets all 12 correct. Early Taco Bell locations were designed to evoke the look and feel of traditional Spanish and Mexican style architecture. The original buildings featured stucco walls, red clay tile.
White Castle, not Burger King. I've only had White Castle, like the frozen food. I never went to like the what's it called, like the restaurant itself.
Roofs, exposed wooden beams, and arched entryways. Now, you get a gray box with a modern purple LED light.
I ain't gonna lie, that kind of looks cool though.
Beams and arched entryways. Now,
that looks cool. It does look dull, but it does look cool.
You get a gray box with a modern purple LED light. Pizza Hut's red roof became such an iconic part.
Pizza Hut used to be up there too, bro. Yeah, I don't mind the modern Taco Bell, to be honest.
Of their design that now when a new business takes over the building and attempts to redesign, everyone knows it used to be a Pizza Hut. But today's Pizza Hut, yep, another.
Bro, there's hardly any Pizza Huts even like around. Like Pizza Hut is not as popping as it used to be. And I didn't even know I didn't even know a Pizza Hut could look like this. Pickup?
Gray box. McDonald's used to have these big glowing arches you could see from a mile away. I was surprised to find out that there are still a few locations that maintain that 1960s vintage look. Take this Bloomington, Minnesota location for example. It still has the massive arches on each side, the red and white striped bricks around the edges, and red outline gives it this cartoonish but welcoming vibe. But sometime in 2023 they decided to get rid of all that charm and paint it gray. During McDonald's nationwide boom in the 1970s.
That's the McDonald's that everyone knows though. This is the one right here everybody grew up on. That's the one. The French fries or whatever, the lines right there on the roof, that's the one.
70s, they made a major rebrand to build locations faster. The red mansard roofs with the yellow accents that were supposed to resemble French fries is what most people remember visiting throughout their childhood. There are still a few locations out there that haven't been modernized. This one in Dunedin, Florida looks absolutely beautiful with the palm trees and the bright blue sky. Or check out this stunning Durham, North Carolina location. This photo was taken in 2021, but it looks like we took a time machine back to 1993. Sadly, this one was also painted entirely gray in 2024. Even this location outside of Disney World looked like a theme park of its own, and I'm sad to admit that this creative masterpiece has been replaced by what looks like a corporate headquarters. Now, one of the main reasons behind the gray box trend is that it's a safer, smarter real estate investment. This strategy leans heavily on modular construction and prefab standardized architecture. When a previous brand needed a very specific build out, which usually came down to their custom roofs, it just cost more. And in a way, they're also preparing for their imminent failure, because these vague buildings can be transformed into just about any other business. In New Jersey, this Wendy's was transformed into a Burger King. In Missouri, this old Burger King was turned into a Wendy's. This former Taco Bell KFC combo was turned into a Wendy's. This former Burger King, just about any other business. In New Jersey, this Wendy's was transformed into a Burger King. In Missouri, this old Burger King was turned into a Wendy's. This former...
They did that? KFC and Taco Bell in the same building? What year was that?
Taco Bell KFC combo was turned into a local pharmacy, and this former Arby's is now a local pizzeria. And
But who the fuck eats Arby's, bro? Blow up Arby's. Is that TO?
to no surprise at all, the local pizzeria made a more charming and visually interesting design. Now, my favorite is when chains actually do the opposite of this, when they repurpose an old building, like this old bank in Wilmington, North Carolina that was transformed into a Dunkin' Donuts. It's undeniably smarter and probably more sustainable to build buildings that can outlive.
But we had Taco Bell mixed with the Pizza Hut. They had a thing like that, Taco Bell and Pizza Hut in the same thing. I never seen that.
Live the brand inside them, which will in turn reduce waste and provide opportunity to future businesses. But there's just something sad about it too. Each restaurant lost all its character. But it's not just the exterior that lost its character. The interior is where many of these places thrived. Stepping inside used to feel like entering a little world.
How is that a TT? How is that? Why is it not letting you type that Milford? In Milford? I never knew that. I'm not gonna lie, bro. They did. I never knew that. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The most I've seen, like, I guess combination or whatever, is just like Target having having a Pizza Hut in there and a Starbucks in there at the same time. But that was about it. I never seen like that type of combo.
Of its own. Taco Bell had these purple and teal art decor.
Went there a lot when I was little. Word. But I went to school in Bridgeport like majority of my life. I never really stepped foot in Milford like that. But I didn't even know Milford had that though.
Deco chairs, textured wall tiles, and neon squiggles that felt like walking through a 90s arcade. People today would probably call this tacky, and they might not be wrong, but damn, it has an identity. But before we dive deeper, the other day I wasted hours trying to cancel all those subscriptions I forgot about. Luckily, apps. All of the apps canceled. The link in the plush burgundy wood panel free. Wendy's had an immaculate 1970s.
They had a little piece of kids meal. I do remember what's it called having that Pizza Hut having like a mini pizza you can get.
Grandma aesthetic, wood paneled walls, stained glass, immaculate. See or click the link in the description to get started for free. Wendy's had an immaculate 1970s like grandma aesthetic, wood paneled walls, stained glass lamps hanging above every table, plush burgundy booths, and soft yellow lighting that made it feel more like a cozy living room than a fast food joint. And these sunrooms, dude, these sunrooms absolutely ripped. Pizza Hut felt like a legit sit-down restaurant with thick carpeting, red vinyl booths, and those iconic Tiffany-style lamps that turned every meal into a dimly lit occasion. McDonald's had burger seats. Look at these burger seats. Are they a little terrifying? Sure, but I think we can all agree that we want them back. And when management started encouraging a more kid-friendly atmosphere, almost every franchisee built massive playgrounds.
McDonald's was lit when I had these when I was little, bro. These was tough. The play place.
And indoor sets packed with massive tubes, nets, and ball pits to play in while the adults got to enjoy their meal. However, for years, McDonald's had been dealing with injury lawsuits where kids hurt themselves climbing around rope ladders and monkey bars. In a 5-year span alone, from 1986 to 1991, 1,500 injury claims were filed against McDonald's when kids fell off their equipment or got trapped in one of their structures. Hundreds, if not thousands of injuries went unreported, and not to mention the sanitation concerns. Even as a kid, I knew those things were filthy. Some places have still tried to hang on to that old school charm well into the 2020s. I found this 1950s retro diner-inspired McDonald's location in Williamsburg, Virginia. They have a whole-ass 1957 Chevy on the inside just parked in the middle of the restaurant. This beautiful time capsule location was, you guessed it, grayed out and turned into another modernized hospital cafeteria a few years ago. A location in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn was redesigned to a 1980s theme for a Marvel movie, and to no surprise at all, everyone loves it. And even though it still doesn't look like a true time capsule, it's just enough retro and modern combined to give the place a lot more soul. And if you're watching this and you have a fast food location near you that still has some old school charm, drop it in the comments because I want to see. But the blueprint for the modern fast food gray box, the minimalism, the neutral tone textured wallpaper, the IKEA chairs that hurt to sit in, the inoffensive abstract art, the dim industrial lighting, it can all be blamed on Chipotle. Chipotle's early 2000s expansion marked a turning point in the fast food industry. Their concept was called fast casual. You still got your food quickly, but the experience felt more elevated. The menu was simple, the ingredients were marketed as fresher, and the interiors ditched the kid-friendly chaos in favor of something more modern. Because of this, they were able to charge a higher price, and teenagers, college kids, and young professionals were more than willing to pay. But they weren't just paying for vibes. Those 2010s Chipotle burritos were massive. You used to get at least 2 servings of food for one price, which made it comparable to 2 fast food trips. Chipotle's success came at a time when McDonald's and other giants were on a rapid decline. In 2003, McDonald's stock price fell to a 9-year low, and in Q4 of 2023 was the first net loss in profits they ever had, losing $344 million. Public pressure around junk food intensified during this period. The Super Size Me documentary further tarnished the company's brand. The doc followed Morgan Spurlock, who ate at McDonald's restaurants 3 times.
Chipotle don't even serve like that anymore. And that's what I'm saying. Oh my god, they'd be so stingy with the food, bro. Like I never do the online orders. I always go inside and get my food, because if I do online orders, bro, they're gonna freaking do my shit dirty, bro. Even when I'm there ordering in their face, they still do it dirty, bro. I can't stand Chipotle. They be on and off, bro.
A day every day for a month, consuming every item on the chain's menu at least once. At the end of the experiment, the 32-year-old had gained 24.5 pounds, a 13% body mass increase, increased his cholesterol to dangerous levels, and became the proof the media needed to paint fast food as the face of America's obesity crisis. So while McDonald's scrambled to repair its image, Chipotle was thriving, offering a cleaner, simpler, healthier experience that looked and felt like the opposite of everything fast food had become. In response, McDonald's started the Forever Young campaign to transform the playground field.
They show that documentary every year when I was in elementary school. I never seen that documentary.
Into a cafe-style space. What resulted was a push for a more contemporary aura, accented by terracotta, olive, and gray colors paired with wooden furniture. Of course, other fast food restaurants saw this change and followed suit. I also believe that the success of Starbucks and maybe even the Apple Store had a big impact on the aesthetics of fast food chains. Starbucks proved that people would pay a premium price to hang around in a space that felt upscale, and Apple taught the entire retail world world that an ultra-minimalist design could signal trust and quality. Today, seemingly every fast food chain takes a little bit of inspiration from Chipotle, Starbucks, and the Apple Store, which has majorly contributed to them losing what made them special in the first place.
Nice.
Fast food restaurants were meant to be bold, fun, and kid-friendly, or even calm and cozy sit-downs for the family. But designers Lynn Rosenbaum and Michael Muchoff told the YouTube channel Cheddar that the design choices are nothing more than a marketing tactic.
We have to be perceived as new and fresh and offering food that is new and fresh. What has changed within our restaurant? We want to communicate that to the customer on the outside, and the easiest way to do that is through architecture and interior design.
How can we make it look healthier, but not actually make it healthier? That's basically the gist. I don't think any logical person is expecting fast food to be healthy, but the risk used to be worth the reward. Because beyond the building design and modern branding, it seems like they aren't even trying to make the food look or taste good anymore. The burgers aren't even close to as advertised.
Ugh, I haven't had a Big Mac in years, not gonna lie, but that's what they look like now? Ugh. Where's the bottom bun at? It's barely there.
With buns flat as a pancake and lettuce that looks like it was left out all night. Places like KFC refuse to change the oil in their fryers, so you can't even taste the chicken anymore. And those so-called crispy fries you ordered look like they were defrosted, placed under a heat lamp.
Burger King's fries was low-key always ass. That's one thing about them. They never really had good French fries.
And served without anyone noticing they missed a crucial step. Even legendary YouTuber The Report of the Week, who has spent the past decade reviewing fast food menu items, just about had a meltdown over the decline in quality and service across every big chain in the US after countless bad experiences in 2023.
Instances not as bad as this, but where there have been problems with my order, with the quality, it's just elapsing more and more. And it's not just Culver's. It's every place. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, you name it.
Just lost that Burger King sponsorship, low, high key. I'll be alright.
There have been so many places, and I'm sure you've noticed this, that I've reviewed in the last couple years, where the food has just been awful. It's quite frankly disgusting. I hate when this happens. And what bothers me even more is when it's becoming more and more of the norm. When I'm trying out these sorts of items, and time and again, it's some burnt piece of garbage. It's some just vile slop, for lack of a better word. And it's getting to the point now where pretty much every other item that I review is just, it's disgusting in some way or another. Or it's just so overpriced that it might be alright, but it's like you're burning your money. What's even the point?
But even if fast food companies lost the fun, lost the undeniable guilty pleasure taste, at least it's still cheap, right?
Hell
nope.
No, it's not.
Chick-fil-A, Arby's, Wendy's, Jimmy John's, Chipotle, Taco Bell, Pop.
Average price increase of 10 different menu items from 2014 to 2024, 10 year. McDonald's at 100%. Popeyes at, oh my lord.
Popeyes and McDonald's.
Wait a minute, Arby's got a damn nerve.
All raised their prices by 55 to 100.
Taco Bell tax is a little crazy. I feel like, but I mean, Wendy's, they always got the $5 biggie bag and the 4 for $4. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that 4 for $4 was revolutionary.
100% between 2014 and 2024. Most of us can remember a time where $5 could fill you up at most restaurants. Maybe you'd snag a couple of grillers or a fill-up box from Taco Bell, a McDouble, McChicken and fries, a famous bowl from KFC, and even if you wanted to get full meals, you'd still spend less than $10. What I found shocking is that Columbus, Ohio has the most affordable fast food in the country, but meals still cost $10 on average. Most cities average $12 to $13 for a fast food meal. And I can say with certainty, at least where I live, that there are plenty of local restaurants serving way better food for $13. Some McDonald's locations were charging as high as $18 for a Big Mac meal.
Taco Bell, better. Oh, yeah, Taco Bell is better value. I think there's more deals in like with those boxes and shit like that.
In 2024, the McDonald's president Joe Erlinger attempted to address many of the concerns that Americans had with McDonald's prices significantly rising. What's funny is that they made this graphic that claims to debunk a bunch of myths, while claiming that the facts state that they have only raised their prices by 20 to 40% since 2019. Like they put this obnoxious claim as a myth. McDonald's medium fries increased by 138%, just to attempt to soften the blow when they say that the fact is that the average price of a medium fries was a 44% increase. Like we're supposed to be like, oh, only a 44% increase for fries that are soggy, cold, and take 20 minutes to get? Ah, that's so much better than 138%. The reality is that fast food has entirely changed its value proposition to customers in America. It's no longer about being cheap, it's about being lazy. A professor of marketing at Johns Hopkins said, "These chains are not charity organizations. They are not trying to serve cheap food to people who are complaining about high prices. They're trying to get people who have either stopped going to the store or never went there." I suspect the value pricing approach is working for McDonald's. Okay. So, they killed the vibes, ruined the taste, charged way too much money. Is it at least still fast? Well, kinda. The speed of service has drastically decreased as Americans become more
Bro, the speed is definitely not changed. Every time I went to McDonald's, bro, or at least when I go to, they always tell me when I order my food, yeah, park up at that place over there, want to bring your food out. I'm like, bro, what's the point of me even doing the pickup shit through the app if my food's not going to be ready as soon as I pull up?
Dependent on the drive-thru. America runs on urgency. Our cities are built to drive around, not stop and hang out in. Our work weeks are packed, our commutes are long, and our breaks are short. Everything in our culture tells us to move faster, work more, and
Notice how Five Guys ain't here, stop complaining. That's facts. Well, Five Guys is always expensive, and plus Five Guys, like, I've never been to Five Guys and they told me to wait for my food, bro. Yeah, Five Guys is not really... Five Guys is fresh food. Like, when you order your food, they're gonna make it fresh, everything. That's why there's no drive-thru. But every time I went to Five Guys and did my shit on the phone, the only thing they had me wait for is probably just like fresh fries. That was it. Cause Five Guys, you know, they pride themselves on fresh food. Not give them the pass for that.
Consume more. So we designed an entire meal experience.
Oh my god, Five Guys need to sponsor me, bro. I'd promote the fuck out of that.
Around not having to stop moving. Pull up in your car, order before you speak to a person, get your food in a brown bag, and don't even look inside until you're already merging onto the highway. And stuff the fries down your throat with one hand while the other is on the wheel. Drive-thrus aren't about convenience. They're a survival mechanism for a society that doesn't have time to sit down. But now even that convenience is starting to collapse. What used to be a
tax always slow and they got potatoes. True, that's true.
3 to 5 minute pit stop has turned into a 15+ minute wait behind a line of frustrated drivers. Even places like
Five Guys orders is a double cheeseburger, lettuce, onion, tomato, mayo, ketchup, bacon depending on how I'm feeling, mashallah, and a french fries. I'm not really a fan of the Cajun ones though. What's up, Vic? What you mean what happened to Ugg?
now are facing major problems with lines that literally cause traffic.
FC26 don't drop until like the 27th or something like that. I'm gonna try it out for a little bit, bro, but we're gonna see.
On the highways next to them. Pretty much every Chick-fil-A I've ever been to around lunchtime has 2 rows of 20+ cars bumper to bumper. Many locations are trying to combat these frustrating wait times by having staff walk around with iPads so
nigga told him this to freak his burger, goddamn. Is low-key 5 feels way better than 25? Shit. I hope so, bro. I hope so.
You can get that somewhat satisfaction that your order is being taken care of, but it doesn't make the food come out any faster. Now you might think that removing drive-thrus in some locations or incentivizing walk-ins would somehow speed things up, but fast food restaurants have done their homework. Research shows that 47% of US consumers would simply avoid going to a store that doesn't have a drive-thru, and twice as many people prefer.
Well, not me really. I don't really care, but I'll walk. If it's the food I want, bro, I'll walk in for the food. I don't care. But a lot of people just like not going in no more. That's just how it be.
Using the drive-thru to going in store, and that's because of the American go culture, as well as us not prioritizing eating as a meaningful experience. It's just another task to check off the list. Meals in other countries are a cultural staple, a time to slow down, talk, share, and connect. Americans treat eating as something you do out of necessity between meetings, in traffic, or while staring at your phone. And I'm talking to you, who's literally eating a meal while watching this right now. The obsession with quick service, combined with fast food's obsession with margins, is slowly turning these restaurants into massive robotic garages, like this concept released by Taco Bell in 2020.
But this shit looks hard, though.
For their new vision for making...
That looks hard. I mean, nobody's gonna be eating inside. Like, this probably looks like a Taco Bell where you probably don't even go inside. You just only strictly order through the drive-thru and shit. 2 drive-thrus? Yeah. But that looks cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Service easier than ever before, or the new designs Chick-fil-A is rolling out that prioritize quick service, or Jimmy John's cutting down the size of their restaurant to resemble more of a studio apartment. To make it even more streamlined, restaurants are releasing AI menu stands that replace human staff members, and the responses have been mixed, with some customers praising the decision and others arguing this is one step further in the wrong direction. So correct orders and no more attitudes for no reason? More jobs with human contact are going away. With fast food restaurants doing everything they can to make service seamless, and Americans demanding even more convenience, how far away are we from a robotic arm extending from a building and just dumping the food right into our mouths? But as grim as the future looks, there is a way to fight this. There is a way to demand change, get better quality food, better prices, better speeds, and an all-around better experience. The solution is quite simple, and it's being implemented all over the world. Fast food is better outside of America, not just by opinion, but by design. Many nations have stricter regulations on food quality, preservatives, and sourcing. In places like Japan, France, or Germany, the ingredients are often fresher, the portions are more balanced, and the presentation is far more respectful.
They wouldn't have attitudes if the job didn't suck, man. I don't know. I'm not blaming someone for being upset they don't get paid enough type shit. Yeah, I mean, I feel like what sucks though is really like, it's just the, like, I feel like, at least me talking, because I've worked in a restaurant, but what makes it suck is when you got shitty customers. That's what really makes it suck, because nobody want to be at work all day. And then on top of that, you got a shitty customer. Oh my god. That's how. Now you good. How long till a bit over? See some packs. I got like 20 or 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Of the dining experience. But this change didn't necessarily happen out of respect, it was by force. Like in France, when 5 activist farmers tore down a McDonald's that was being built in the southern town of Malau in August 1999. They handed out Roquefort cheese at the protest, which they said was to denounce US import restrictions and hormone-treated beef. But this was a calculated attack. In that same week, French farmers dumped 6 tons of manure on a McDonald's restaurant in Arles. This was a symbol of resistance against American food imperialism and the spread of unhealthy, standardized meals. And it wasn't just about the food, they were defending culture, agriculture, and tradition. And it worked. French consumers began demanding locally sourced ingredients, and McDonald's responded. Today, around 75% of the food served in McDonald's France is sourced domestically. Now, this doesn't mean go and destroy your local McDonald's, but it is proof that a protest goes a long way. Also, McDonald's Europe became the first food service retailer in many markets to sell Marine Stewardship Council certified sustainable fish. The MSC is widely considered the gold standard certification for sustainable wild-caught seafood. Because if they did not meet these standards, then European countries would simply not allow them to serve fish. In India, they mostly don't serve beef or pork items due to religious values held by the citizens. In China, they serve taro pies. Taro is a plant native to Southeast Asia whose roots and leaves are used for food in this region. In Saudi Arabia, 100% of their menu must be halal. Therefore, all products served at McDonald's restaurants are inspected and approved by local authorities and Islamic economic inspectors at the countries of export. The point is, McDonald's and other fast food restaurants will abide by socio-cultural, religious, food preferences, and environmental factors, or they will simply not be allowed to serve food in that country. And they might even complement the country with a vibey atmosphere. They'll serve food in decommissioned planes in New Zealand, a colorful building pagoda.
That is so hard. This is hard.
In China, or a ski up in Sweden. The end result, better service, better food, better vibes, and customers who treat eating as something worth sitting down for. All of these point to the fact that fast food restaurants can still be colorful, fun, cheap, and have the best quality food available for their meals. It's just that they only change when people finally start to walk away. This is not the answer you want, but it is the truth. Sure, the buildings are gray and bland. Sure, the service is slow. Sure, the food doesn't taste as good and corporate greed is driving up the price. But you can protest. You can just stop going. And they will be forced to resort back to the things that made these restaurants special in the first place. But until most of us refuse to order from these fast food restaurants, then nothing is going to change.
It's true. W video.
This Adam?
I had some Wendy's the other day, I'm not gonna lie, bro. And that shit was fire. Yeah, I'm hopping.